G'day Bomber fans, another player has joined our team. We've added a new ruckman to our list through the rookie draft. It's not as glitzy and glamorous as the national draft, but it's still a way to get new players through the doors. Over the years, we've been fairly successful in picking up players from here as well. We've grabbed Sam Draper and Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody through this list management method, so we'll be hoping Vigo Visentini follows in their footsteps, especially because he is pretty similar to Sam Draper in a lot of ways, so let's talk about him. Alrighty, so Vigo Visentini, I talked about him in my draft bargain video last week. I said he was probably set to fall in the rookie draft, and luckily we were the team he fell at. We grabbed him with pick 8 in the draft. I don't think he was ever really good enough to be taken in the national draft. I was very hyped on Roberts and Lual, not as much on Visentini, but I see the vision there. I had some comments about us drafting nice players, which I didn't really understand, but this has changed that narrative up a bit here with Vigo, who is the brother of Dante Visentini. You might know Dante, Port Adelaide ruckman. You'll remember him from our game against Port Adelaide at the MCG. He's very similar to Vigo. He made his debut only finding out minutes before the game against us when Houston kicked that goal after the siren. He was warming up for the match after it had started, so he had a bit of a mare there, but he looked alright in his other games against the Cats and the Crows. He's a bit smaller and leaner than our player Vigo, but probably has more to his game overall, I'd say. This isn't a Dante video though, it's a Vigo video. So what do we get from Vigo Visentini? We get a ruck bully, a very big body. He has grown a lot in the last few years. He was initially, as a junior, a forward ruck. Now he is a pure tap ruck, 204 centimeters, will probably grow past 205. He's almost 100 kegs, which is huge for a kid that age. He is imposing. He is scary to match up on. He's scary to look at. He is extremely physical. I think that's the thing you guys are going to like the most about him when you see him play. He makes you earn a hit out if you win one against him. He's very different to Nick Bryan, for example. Not dissing Nick Bryan. The guy's a classy ruck, which Vigo isn't. But he is very hard to play on. You will be having to deal with him using his body when it's a stoppage or when the ball is on ground level. I like his work on ground level. I think he does well to get down low and get his body in and under in the right areas too. His work ethic is something I admire. He isn't just a physical ruck when he can be. He tries to involve himself through his competitiveness and work rate. You're often going to see him throw in little 1%ers. It's a good trait to have in rucks. I look at someone like Andrew Phillips, those slow motion smothers. You're going to get similar actions from Vigo, I reckon. I'd like to see how he goes playing with Nick Bryan in the VFL next year, actually, because they are very different players. I would say he is almost purely a tap ruck. I think around the ground he is quite a bit less imposing, which is almost the opposite for Bryan, who can easily rack up 15 or so disposals and use the ball well. I don't see Vigo Visentini having the same impact. It is because of this you won't really see much of him until he plays for us in the VFL next year, or unless you have watched some junior footy like me. I saw him play a couple of games for Vic Metro, but if you were to look at his highlights, it's a lot of random uncontested marks and little handballs that really don't look that impressive. It really shouldn't be on a highlight reel. That's because he's still learning how to play around the ground. He averages around 10 disposals per game across Sandringham and Vic Metro, but over 20 hitouts. So it tells you the type of player he is. He is purely used in ruck scenarios or even to help out as a body in defense. I think it's because he is at the moment a bit of a body. He doesn't have the smarts to lead and repeat lead resting forward. He isn't really the type of player you will see playing on a direct opponent either. He is more of a hole plugger when the ball is moving. And in saying that, I think a lot of the time his defensive work needed work. He wasn't always finding himself in the right areas, which can be frustrating for a body that big. Really, it's a Sam Draper 2.0. He's not the same player as Sam Draper, but the same story. No one looked at Sam Draper when he came in and thought that he was going to be our number one ruck. It's a stab in the dark. With rucks this age, it always is. Tall men in this role don't come good until their mid-20s. We're only just seeing Draper start to hit his physical peak, and he's been on our list for quite a while. Nick Bryan is still 1 or 2 years off his peak, and he is in the same boat. We aren't going to know whether or not Vigo was the right choice for a few seasons, but there are glimpses that show he can be a handy ruck for us. I look at his mindset for starters. He doesn't like to lose. He is very competitively based, and he is already built for AFL footy. He can still grow, of course, but he is built right now. Some will say it's a negative because it shows he can't fully put young kids who are lean at this age away, and he's only going to struggle more going up against men the same size as him. But I think it's worth noting that there are so many areas for him to improve. Yes, that's not ideal, but he has been drafted with plenty of weaknesses, and if he fixes those, he becomes a better player. So his ceiling is hard to judge because of it. We don't really know where he will be quality-wise because there is so much still to work on, and in a weird way, that's very promising promising. It should also be noted he hasn't really had a full year in a while. He has had some really annoying injuries, not your muscles or knees to get scared of. Lots of bone breaks. He had a nose operation, a broken arm. He has had interruptions which have halted his development, but he has still shown enough to be, or one, in draft contention and to be drafted. So he has had to overcome a little bit, not as much as others in the draft, but it shows mentality. But really, with Visentini, we get a project player, someone I doubt we will see until maybe like 2025. It's a low risk pickup. We grab him and chuck him on our rookie list. If we like his development, we keep him. If not, no biggie. I hope he comes good though. I would love to see us have 3 rucks by the time Goldie retires, and it's also going to be good for him to learn under Goldstein as well. He gets to have a year on the senior list training with one of the best tap rucks ever. That is huge for the young man. It will be a learning season. Next year will be the same. Hopefully we see him brush up on his skills and his smart and his craft and make himself a popular member of the club. But that is all. That is the last player we have brought into the team for season 2023. Let me know down below what you think. Are you happy? Are you sad? Was there someone else you wanted to see rookie drafted? Many spoke of Will Patton, who I thought was really unlucky to be skipped. All-Australian under-18 defender, just without a team for 2024. Cheers for watching though, guys. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are new, and as always, go Bombers.